about you chums, but we're being told time and time again that the mad woke world that we've been living in for the last few years is slowly disappearing. I disagree, in fact, because, you know, time and time again we get these things where suddenly Shakespeare is racist or whatever, and you think, you know, one of the greatest living and most respected writers ever, suddenly hundreds of years later, oh dear, you know, it could be offensive. Now, I don't know if you found this, but when you were at school, you know, Shakespeare, got to be honest, wasn't my thing. I didn't understand the language, whatever. But as you get older, you appreciate exactly what a very clever storyteller William Shakespeare was. And of course, he's using the language of the time, isn't he? You know, thou for, therefore, that sort of stuff. And we all found it quite funny when we were younger. Now you kind of think, wow, that was quite intricate writing. You know, that's the thing, isn't it? Writing is not easy. So again, you know, you have this sort of stuff. But as ever, there's now this going on. And this really, when you think about it, in the wonderful world of the National Health Service, which apparently is losing money hand over fist with all these extra managers, inclusivity managers, diversity managers. Well, you can't get in to see a doctor. Well, apparently this is more pressing. Let me explain. Morning, how are you? Nice to see you. We'll have a lovely wave. Thank you and welcome one and all brand new subscribers. This just gets me boiling, you know. I've got friends at the moment who are desperately trying to see doctors for various things, you know, and they go in, and I tell you what I found out as well, which is fascinating. When you go to certain health centres, right, up and down the country, they're not really national health, you know. Oh, no. They're just part of a collective group of doctors that get together, and then they put a bill into the National Health Service. And how this truly works is it's like a lottery. You know, if you, for instance, go for the shingles vaccine or the, you know, whatever vaccine they're chucking out this week, right? Now, they put a tick box on, and it's great if you're in the, you know, the age bracket that they want, because then they can say, we've seen X amount of thousands of people in that community, and now we can claim this much money. That's the thing. The bigger pressing problems are stuff like this. Yes, they want to get rid of the word midwife, right? Oh yes, because apparently it's not inclusivity enough, or inclusive enough, or genderless, or whatever, you know. Just ridiculous. And I've often said this, but I blame all those nutters like Eddie Izzard, a fella in a frock who's concerned about being on the BBC and they didn't get his pronouns right. Although he did say, oh, it didn't really matter. Of course it doesn't matter. You're a man in a frock, love. That's the problem. And if you remember, I don't know if you've heard this interview, but when she very politely asked him if he could recite a little bit of his forthcoming theatre epic, he said no. Yeah, he didn't want to know that, but suddenly, you know, oh, it's all about my pronouns. As I said, a good dose of prunes might solve that, but there you go. Now, here's where this gets interesting, because apparently this could really escalate. As I said, across the United Kingdom, they're concerned about whether midwives, which, you know, if you think about it, the BBC have got their one and only popular drama left, called The Midwife. So what's it going to be? Call the pronoun? Consequently, this is where your money gets wasted by these lunatic people at the top. Now, as ever, the current Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, a man that is addicted to sunblock, I've been told, and clear mascara, just really likes to get his beak out there to say he'll look into it. It needs to be scrapped, stamped on, and literally wiped away, along with all of those inclusivity managers. But either way, can you imagine training as a midwife, and they do a terrific, hard-working job, both men and women. It doesn't matter what section you're in, you're doing a wonderful job. But suddenly now, everything that you've trained for and it stands for has to be changed. Can you imagine if you're ringing up saying, I want a midwife? Oh, what's it called now? This is the nutty world we're currently living in. What do you think? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.